Before we move on to the games of this weekend, it was the first Thursday night since week 1, because technically the season begins with a Thursday night football game, even though it's called a Sunday night football special on Thursday, the kickoff game. First time since the start of the regular season that we didn't have a Thursday night NFL game. I watched all of the playoff games yesterday because we've got family visiting from Ohio. They're big college football fans, and they are huge Ohio State fans, and they can relate to your
They're in pain.
Disappointment in what happened on Wednesday night. But we watched all the games yesterday. The game last night, the Sugar Bowl, was fun, and I was rooting so hard for chaos at the end. When Mississippi goes up, or Ole Miss, they tell me, please call us Ole Miss. So when Ole Miss goes up by 3 and they do the kickoff, and immediately Georgia launches into a would-be, what was that? The what they call the play in Tennessee when they won the playoff game. The Music
City Miracle?
Music City Miracle. I knew there was an M in there somewhere. Music City Miracle. I'm thinking Nashville Miracle. It's 2 different letters. M-N.
Right.
Music City Miracle. That's what it is. The guy tried to set up the Frank Wycheck throw across the field. The problem is he was inside the 5, and the ball bounded around and hit the pylon going out for a safety. So it was 39-34. And the game's over. They bring out the stage for the trophy presentation. Everybody's going, yeah. Well, the officials are trying to get everybody off the field. There was 1 second left. And it's funny. I don't want to be critical of the broadcast crew because they probably just wanted to get the hell out of there. But I'm saying the whole time, hey, this isn't over because you do an onside free kick. You recover it in a way that prevents clock time from expiring, which happened. All Mississippi had to do, any player on the team, just hit the ball. Just touch it. And the 1 second's coming off the clock. They all watched the thing dribble and trickle, and as soon as it got past the 30, a Georgia player fell on it and was down when he fell on it, so the clock didn't start. So there was 1 second left for Georgia. And I'm like, please, I'm sorry, Ole Miss. This isn't again. This is beyond Ole Miss. Beyond Georgia, beyond 2026. This is football immortality. This is the band is on the field. This is witness to crazy-ass history. I wanted that last play to go for a touchdown so badly because nobody would have seen it coming. And it's just an amazing situation. And I don't know what Georgia was doing on the last play of the game. They didn't even try to get anyone down the field. It's like, we're not going to try. We can't throw this ball 70 yards. And they tried to set up a Stanford Cal play, and it went for a little bit, but nobody ever was going to break free. It was just kind of sad. It never materialized. But, I was hoping for it so bad. I love chaos generally, but I wanted to be able to say, I watched it live, and I knew it was going to happen because I'm sitting there, and I'm saying in the room, look, why aren't they saying there's 1 second left? There's going to be an onside free kick. They're going to recover. They're going to have a chance at one last play, and everybody's shut down mentally, and who knows what's going to happen when that happens. But that was exciting. I just wish it would have turned out differently.
Well, yeah, if you wanted chaos at the end, that just tells me you were getting greedy because you had chaos throughout that game. How about in the fourth quarter? It's Georgia had already converted a fake punt, and it went for 16 or 17 yards, something like that. They do it again, even though Kirby Smart said after the game, we weren't supposed to snap the ball. It was 4th and 2. They were in their own territory. Ole Miss came back and converted on it and went up by 10 points. Now Georgia bounced back from that, but that's soft serve. That's the undercard. The real main event, Mike, and we were talking about this a couple minutes ago, is what's happening today. The transfer portal opens for college football. Ole Miss, we all know, Lane Kiffin was the coach. Now he's the coach at LSU. And some of his assistants were coaching last night, but they may not be coaching for the semifinal in 6 days. I mean, that is absurd. So there's the chaos that you're looking for. That's the main event. And I'm guessing that when this is over, college football, if it has any spine whatsoever, will say, okay, we can't have these situations. We're going to have to do it differently. We can't. It's unfair to the kids to go week to week as if you're renting and not buying. It's like a weekly rental. Are you going to be my coach this week? No? One more week? Okay, we got you for another week. It's just unfair to them to have so much uncertainty on a week-to-week basis in the playoffs, Mike.
The one reason it would continue this way as it relates to the current employer of the coaches who are on loan from LSU, Lane Kiffin is getting from LSU whatever playoff bonuses he would have earned if he had stayed at Ole Miss. So he's got a financial incentive to keep these guys there. Beyond that, yes, you're building relationships you can take advantage of in the portal, and Ole Miss had to look at it as, well, you know what, we got to take this risk. Otherwise, we're not going to maximize what may be our only opportunity to ever win a national championship. So it is a weird situation. This all falls on the people in charge of college football. It is. And, hey, speaking of chaos, now, it would have been the ultimate on-field chaos. Like the other chaos you were talking about from the fourth quarter, that's normal chaos that we see from time to time. This was legendary, historic. The game's over. This wasn't the bands on the field. This is they turned off the lights and they're getting ready to go home kind of chaos. So that's why I wanted that. But the chaos that's happening for the sport itself, it's all deserved because it all flows from the fact that for decades, players were exploited. Players were lied to about what they could or couldn't receive. Remember this, folks, because now you'll hear like people like Nick Saban talk about fear of a lawsuit in that kind of derisive way, like a lawsuit is something like a tree falling on your house, right? Like it isn't something you caused. It's something that just happens, like an act of God. No. Most lawsuits happen because you did something you shouldn't have done. You had a business practice that didn't comply with the legal requirements. And for decades, college football, hiding under the umbrella of the NCAA, created this situation where they would do antitrust violations and make it look legitimate. All these different businesses come together and they create this shell, the NCAA. And, hey, Jimmy, we'd love to pay you, but the NCAA won't let us. And they all had that same routine, and they all avoided having to pay them money, and they were able to funnel all that money into their own pockets and elsewhere, and they had a free labor force. Sorry, they got tuition, board, room fees, and in recent years, snacks. So it was a way to hold everyone down, and now they're trying to deal with the mess. And I say, good, it's your own mess. Don't come to our elected officials to try to get them to save you. You save yourself. Oh, but the sport's in crisis. Bullshit, the sport's not in crisis. So how long did it take? 13 minutes into the first show of the year. But I love it because they're all culpable. Their hands are dirty. I feel bad for all the kids years gone by that got screwed and didn't get paid under the old system. And I love seeing them flop in a boat like a fish. They don't know what to do because the one thing they don't want to do is the one thing they should do, which is have a nationwide union. You want an antitrust exemption, Nick Saban and Charlie Campbell and all you other guys that are trying to spin the clock back to the good old days when we didn't have to pay the players? The only way you're getting an antitrust exemption is if you take a union, and they don't want a union. You know why? Because a union has power, and a union is going to tell a coach, hey, coach, you can't have these guys out there beating each other to a pulp in full padded practices every day of the year. You can't have them show up at 6 in the morning in the middle of February for all these weird conditioning drills to get them in shape for the season. You can't do that stuff anymore. That's why they want the antitrust exemption, but they don't want the union that comes with it. And I love the chaos because they keep fighting and fighting against what they need to do, hoping that someone's going to show up and save them. And I hope to God nobody shows up and saves them.
And they probably won't.
I feel so much better now.
No, I'm glad you do, and I'm glad. I say power to the employees, which is what these college football players are. They're getting a lot more. They have a lot more leverage. They're getting paid. They're actually getting paid. The best ones, even the guys that we don't really look at as surefire first and second round picks, future first and second round picks, are getting paid in college football. So that's a good thing. And I have a little tip for you. If you don't want to say sorry London, sorry Manchester, sorry Leeds, et cetera, instead of saying BS, you could say bollocks. That's bollocks. And that is appropriate.
Careful. I think that's okay here. That's one of the words that's okay here, but not okay there. I think like the maiden name of Peggy from Married with Children, Peggy Bundy's maiden name, it's perfectly acceptable here, not there. And Sims
Not
let
there.
it fly one day, and I don't think they bleeped it. But look, I get so frustrated by the games that are being played by the people in college football that think this is an annoyance that we can just fix if we find the right light switch to flip. Oh, where's that antitrust exemption? And it's gotten all these political overtones. They're doing all the stuff that we see in haven't we all had enough of all that stuff? Like for 2026, can we just say enough of all that shit that divides us and makes us upset? And we sit there and we watch whatever network it is you watch, where you get your skewed news, right? Like, can we just get past that and find the things that make us similar, not the things that divide us? Because maybe if we focused on the things that made us alike, we wouldn't be divided. But that same terminology and all those games creep into it. Well, you know what? If we can't get them to save college football, let's get them to save Olympic sports. Let's get them to save women's sports. Yeah, that's it. We have to save women's sports. We have to save Olympic sports. We have to save the entire college sports system by turning back the clock to the way it was when we didn't have to pay the players. No, we'll pay them now. We'll pay them, but we won't pay them. We won't pay them what they should get. We won't do that. We're going to pay them a lot less. They're making too much now. We're not going to pay them what they should. So anyway, that's my whole. I get so, because the games are compelling. The games are compelling, but
some of them are.
Well, last night's game was compelling. The teams are good.
I mean, yeah, last night was.
The product,
Indiana, Alabama, not much. Oregon, not much.
The product is thriving, but, it's crisis. It's crisis. Nick Saban, it's crisis. Charlie Campbell, it's crisis. Like, I don't buy it, and I just wish it would end. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.